Okay.
We lost you or
Nandito po, nandito po.
okay, good. Yeah, you're back on the screen. And mentioning about, for example, Philippine Broadcasting Service, 1950, franchise for 50 years, 1995, 25 years, 2019, 25 years. Now, do you agree that in the franchises given to them, the ones I mentioned, 4 of them, given in 1950, the same year, and were also renewed for twice renewed. The franchise requires that after the franchise, they go to the NTC, correct?
Yes.
And what is the action according to the franchise? What should the NTC do after a franchise is given to, for example, these 4 companies, including also ABS-CBN?
They would ask for the provisional authorities, Your Honors, dun po sa kanilang mga radio stations and television stations.
Yes.
Okay.
And so you being the commissioner of the NTC would confirm that successively the Philippine Broadcasting Service, Manila Broadcasting, GMA Network, the Radio Mindanao Network of 1961, these particular franchises, you gave commensurately, gave the provisional authority and later on the certificate of convenience and necessity. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honors.
So therefore, as a body which has primary jurisdiction under the doctrine of primary jurisdiction, you have also contemporaneously constructed interpreted the Constitution by saying that there is really no obstacle in you giving 2 renewals that would exceed the total of 50 years for these particular companies. Is that correct, that you have did issue this even if they are over 50 years already?
Actually, Your Honors, we just follow the law which is issued by Congress. Pag in-issue po ng Congress, that is a valid law at valid naman at okay naman po siya, then we just follow it and issue the required permits and licenses, Your Honor.
So therefore, you admit that Congress, the laws passed by Congress, including franchises, unless it is decided by a court to be invalid, is valid. And therefore,
Yes,
you yourself had been giving the provisional authority and giving the frequencies to these companies, even if they were more than 50 years already in existence.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yes. So therefore, we can say that the NTC has been able to give that, and the companies, through the doctrine of appetitive fact, realize that their particular provisional authorities and certificates are valid because the NTC had been issuing after every franchise, even if it exceeds in total 50 years, but each franchise having a maximum only 50 years, then you therefore are saying that you have done this act. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honors. That is correct.
And in all of these companies, these are all broadcast companies, in all of this, which you have given certificates of provisional authority, even if you cumulate them, it is more than 50 years you have given them. Has there been any instance where your certificate of public convenience on a second issuance or third issuance of the provisional authority, knowing that there may be over 50 years in total, had there been a question of your issuance of the subsequent provisional authority by anybody, and has there been any case that questioned you issuing to this GMA Network, Manila Broadcasting, Philippine Broadcasting, and ABS-CBN? Had there been a question of your act as the primary jurisdiction body to any court? Has there been any question?
As far as I know, Your Honors, wala naman po.
So nobody has questioned this, because also everyone really agrees that there is really a very clear provision in the Constitution. And so therefore, you therefore agree that what you always confirm that you have issued all of this as a matter of course, and following Congress and following the law, and that all of these companies are still operating up to now.
Yes, Your Honors.
Thank you very much, our Commissioner of the NTC, for confirming that. So, Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, it is very clear that the Department of Justice, who gives opinions to our executive branch, has admitted that there is no ambiguity on Section 11. And therefore, when there's no ambiguity, there is no need for Congress in deciding to give this particular franchise or not, would take into consideration that is over 50 years. That is not a consideration, Mr. Chairman, in the grant. Other issues are there, but certainly this is a non-issue at all, because certainly this is particularly a situation in the Congress, in the Constitution, that it is very clearly stated in this particular provision of Section 11. So clearly, also, contemporaneous acts of the Executive Department has already gave imprimatur to all these renewals that will already exceed 50 years if you total the different renewals. And to repeat, the Congress had already passed through all the procedure, from the filing to the first reading, second reading, and then third reading, then goes to the plenary, and then to the third reading, then goes to the Senate. And so, therefore, it is clear that we in Congress, we always have been saying and implementing this Constitution without interpreting it and implementing it, that it will be for only no franchise, not more than 50 years at one given instance, but then it has been renewed, and Congress has given its approval of this kind of observance of Section 11. Likewise, we always also have the President. No less than President Duterte had signed the GMA Network 2017, Manila Broadcasting 2018, and Philippine Broadcasting Service 2019. And therefore, the President and the Office of the President and the legal Office of the President has given the President the advice to sign it because it does not violate any constitutional provision. And finally, the body which has the jurisdiction, primary jurisdiction on this particular matter of allowing the operation and giving the frequency of agency or a company that has been given a franchise, has also confirmed that they have been extending and renewing this and giving the provisional authority. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, it is crystal clear, very crystal clear, that this is an issue, and we should proceed now to other issues, because this issue is again dead. This issue is very clear. It is clear in the Constitution, clear by extemporaneous construction, and therefore this issue had no bearing at all in this franchise application of ABS-CBN. Thank you, distinguished Chairman. Thank you, my distinguished colleagues. Thank you, our resource persons, and all my colleagues in Congress. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Kong Rufus. Next, I would like to recognize Congressman Lito Atienza.
Mr. Chair, can I interject?
Kong Marcoleta, si Kong Lito po muna, and then kayo po sunod.
Okay po, salamat po.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes po, Kong Lito. Please proceed po.
Thank you for finally allowing me to join the discussion. Malinaw na po yung paliwanag ni Congressman Rufus na yung ating konstitusyon ay hindi po nilalabag ng ABS. Yung kanilang application may be acted on by Congress. Pwede natin bigyan ng 1 month franchise up to maximum of 50 years. Yun po ang konstitusyon eh. Si Congressman Marcoleta lang po naman ang merong ibang impression, ibang interpretation. And again, he cites the Constitution and a violation thereof in this particular issue. Can I ask the gentleman representing ABS, Attorney Bautista, a simple question? Pwede po ba? Andiyan pa po niya? Andiyan pa po ba si Attorney Bautista?
Attorney Bautista? Andyan pa po, kung dito.
Nais ko lang liwanagan yung paulit-ulit na sinabi ni Congressman Marcoleta na meron siyang sinasite na 3 batas na nagbibigay ng 150 years franchise sa ABS. Totoo po ba yan o hindi? You were not given a chance to answer that very clearly. I'm asking you now. Did you ever enjoy a 150-year franchise?
Hindi po. We never did.
Alam ko po yun. Alam ko, and I agree with you. I just wanted that on record because Congressman Marcoleta was browbeating you. He was not giving you a chance to answer. Again, he's alleging a constitutional violation, but there is none.
Okay lang po yun. Okay lang.
Ang nakuha ninyong prangkisa, kailan po ba yung latest?
79. I think Attorney Poblador can answer that question. I'm not sure when we got it.
I will answer it. 1995.
1995. 25 years.
Kaya nga po, paso na ngayon. Ngayong 2020, it is now terminated or expired. That's the reason why you're applying for a new franchise.
Yes, sir.
So malinaw po sa akin, hindi lang malinaw kay Congressman Marcoleta, na unang-una, wala kayong nakuha 150 ever.
It's being used by the gentleman from the party list, Buhay. He used the word bro-beating, very unparliamentary language, and I move to strike off the record the remarks of the gentleman from Buhay party list.
Mr.
To do with Congressman Marcoleta in the sense that he demeans the
Mr. Vitulla, I am not willing to be corrected by you because you also have been monopolizing these proceedings. This is a congressional hearing.
Can you kindly suspend the rules, Mr. Chairman?
Suspended for a few minutes. Hearing resumed. Congressman Atienza, you have the floor. Pero remind ko lang po sana na refrain po natin na tukuyin yung ating kapwa at para hindi po maiwasan po natin na meron tayong arguments.
Mr. Chairman, may I know what the action of the committee is on my motion to strike off the record the unparliamentary remarks of Mr. Atienza?
There's a motion by Congressman Remulla. Any seconds?
We object that. We object to that. We strongly object to the objection of Congressman Remulla because he's also one who has been monopolizing these hearings.
Yes,
We are a 305-member Congress, and this committee represents the Philippine Congress. Kaya sana'y maging mas mapagbigay sila. Immediately magre-react siya ng ganyan. Nangangahulugan lang, tama po yung aking damdamin, na itong hearing natin ay hindi po natin inilalagay sa tamang direksyon. For us to be very parliamentary and strict about our language, I think you should also respect the feelings and sentiments of those who may not be agreeing with what you're saying, with what our colleagues are stating on the floor.
See for a ruling, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing suspended again for a few minutes.
Session resumed. Sa ating pong kagalang-galang na Honorable Lito Atienza, sa ating pong elder statesman, ang hiningi lang naman po ng ni Congressman Remulla ay yung pong wag po tayong magtukuyan dito sa loob ng ating hearing sa ating komite at kinikilala naman po yung mga puntos na niraise ninyo. Doon po sa binanggit nyo, Honorable Atienza, tungkol po doon sa pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga nagtatanong at nagsasalita, pagpaumin ninyo, hindi po kami ang nagdedetermine yan yung nasa floor. Everyone is welcome to attend the committee hearings. Ito po yung dinedetermine ng chairman ng Legislative Franchise Committee and the Committee on Good Government. So, Congressman Atienza, with your indulgence, I will rule to strike off the word probity and your reference to Congressman Marcoleta. Pero wali na po kayo magpatuloy sa inyong mga pagtatanong. So ruled. Congressman.
Mr. Chairman, may we just continue by way of manifestation? Dahil wala na po yung issue constitutionality nitong franchise application. Under the Constitution, it's very clear. No one franchise should be more than 50 years. They're not applying for a 51-year franchise. They're applying for a renewal of their 25-year franchise. So it is within the powers of Congress to determine this. And all I request, Congressman Marcoleta, who is enjoying, obviously, immense advantage in these hearings because pag siya nagsasalita, hindi po niyo ini-interrupt, hindi po niyo pinipigil. Pag kami po nagsasalita, masyado kayong maigpit. Ngayon gusto pa ninyong paalis yung aking ginamit na kataga. Wala pong masama rin sa browbeating. Talagang meron po kayong...
With your indulgence, Congressman. Yung pong nangyari po kasi sa kay Congressman Marcoleta, yung pong mga oras ng iba ibinibigay sa kanya. Pero if you recall, Congressman Atienza, he never refers to anyone or any member of the committee. And if I may, Congressman Atienza, you're raising a good point. Please continue with that. Kung maaari po sana, wag tayo ang mag-away-away kung di po dun sa issue ng Constitution. Congressman Atienza, salamat po.
Anyway, gaya na sinabi ko po, tapos na yung issue sapagkat malinaw po ang saligang batas. Hindi po totoo na hindi pwedeng tumagal na mahigit 50 taon ang nag-e-enjoy po ng prangkisa. Pwede pong 100 taon. At kailangan kurikin ko lang yung sinabi ni Congressman Marcoleta na nabigyan daw ng 150-year franchise itong ABS noong 1969. I'd like that question to be answered by him. Pwede po bang tanungin siya? Saan po ba ninyo nakuha yung impression na nabigyan ng ABS ng 150 years franchise noong June of 1969? I want that answered for the record. Dahil for the record, sabi niya, ang swerte naman itong korporasyon na ito. Nabigyan na ng 150, gusto pa ng additional. Samantalang marami kaming question on the constitutional violation. Again, ako po'y sinundan ko itong hearing na ito. From the beginning, although mag-a-apply ako for interpellation, ako'y number 30, 34, ngayon naman number 17. Kaya pinagsagaan ko na. Dahil gusto ko namang marinig yung tinig ko. Kami po sa Buhay Party List, patas. Kami po ay nagtatanggol ng karapatan ng lahat upang magkaroon tayo ng mas maayos na pamumuhay. Buhay Party List kami. Anyway, to manifest my continuing strong sentiments on the continued allegation of violation where they have not proven anything up to this point in time. After 7 hearings, wala pa po silang napapatunayan. Humihingi sila ng records, meaning they're on a fishing expedition. Congressman Edsel Lagman talks from records existing. Congressman Rufus Rodriguez talks from records that he's holding. Yours truly, although I'd like to accept some of their allegations, kaya sinusundan ko, baka merong sasabihin talagang may katotohanan na ang ABS na nag-violate. Katulad po nung pagkakasoli sa kanila. Ako po isa sa mga players ng EDSA Revolution. Kaya I am very well aware of what transpired during that period. How the Lopezes were deprived of their property. ABS network was taken away from them. use whatever word you would want to use. Hindi nagbayad, ginamit ng administrasyon ni Mr. Marcos. Noong dumating ang revolusyon at nanalo ang taong bayan, isinauli yung kinuha ari-arian. Ano pang pinag-aaralan natin? Ang tanong ko nga sa marami, kung kayo, yung bahay ninyo, inagaw ng isang opisyal ng militar under martial law, huwag na si Mr. Marcos, nawala sa inyong kontrol, nawalan kayo ng bahay at ari-arian. Nanalo ang revolusyon ng bansa, naibalik sa inyo yung bahay. Pagtatalunan pa ba natin? O may television dyan bago, o meron dyan oven, unfair, illegal, unconstitutional. Kaya po medyo nababagabag po naman ang inyong lingkod. Baka kung saan mapunta itong hearing eh. This is not an investigative court of law. Kaya yung mga hinihingi po mga dokumento, mga prueba to prove their points, para sa akin po hindi tugma sa dapat natin ginagawa. Ang pag-aralan natin, yung pakinabang ng bansa sa operation ng ABS-CBN. Ako po hindi tao ng ABS at may reklamo rin po ako. Sapagkat nung kampanya ng 2016, ako po nagbayad ng mga advertising spots. Tananggap naman yung pera ko. Pero hindi po in-air yung aking spots. Kaya right after election, sinulatan ko ng formal ang ABS. Soli niyo yung aming binayad. Yung pay before breakfast is one-sided. You charge us, we pay, and then you don't air, you have to give us back our money. Immediately, binalik po naman ng ABS at nag-apologize. Dahil talagang sumobra ang kanilang kinuhang spots, advertising spots, hindi nila na-air lahat. Ang aking pakiusap sa mga kasamahan, sama na po si Congressman Marcoleta, Congressman Barsaga, Congressman Remulla, nakikiusap ako sa iyo. Luwagan natin ang ating pananaw sa hearing na ito. Let us stick to the genuine issues of whether ABS has violated the Constitution or not. I've heard the Department of Justice, the Immigration, and one of the most prominent immigration commissioners we've had in the country is Commissioner Rufus Rodriguez. Siya po ang maraming reformang nagawa sa immigration. Narinig na rin po natin ang SEC. Wala pong violation sa PDR. E ngayon po, pinag-uusapan itong nagpas na sa prangkisa ang ABS sapagkat limitasyon daw. Yun ang interpretasyon. And I have to mention the name because talagang galing sa kanya. Yung kanyang allegation from the very start, ABS violated the Constitution repeatedly and one of which is applying for a franchise where they have already in operation beyond 50 years. But they have not gotten any franchise for 50 years even. Congress has the power to give a one-day franchise or a 50-year franchise. But the ABS has not enjoyed a franchise more than 25 years so far. So I am constrained to clarify everything so that we may proceed with care. Kung gusto ninyong pagbigyan si Congressman Marcoleta sa kanyang repeated questioning on the constitutionality or violations of thereof, okay lang sa akin. Total, ang boboto po dito noon sa plenaryo tayong lahat eh. Yung boto niya isa. Yung boto po ni Congressman Atienza, isa rin. And therefore, in the final analysis, ito yung desisyon ng buong Kongreso. Subalit, huwag naman tayong magmukhang one-sided, bias sa mata ng tao. Ang tanong po sa akin sa labas ganun lang palagi. Kayo ba talaga bang desidido kayong wag bigyan ng prangkisa? Sabi ko, bakit ganun ang impression ninyo? Napapanood po namin yung paratang ng isa ay paulit-ulit na hindi binabago. Bagamat nagsasalita na autoridad. Paniniwalaan ba natin yung kasama nating congressman who may not agree with the Department of Justice, with the immigration officials, with the Securities and Exchange Commission? Yung citizenship issue, hanggang ngayon, issue pa rin sa kanila. Malinaw na malinaw po dual citizen. Hindi naman dininay ni Mr. Lopez. I am an American citizen, by virtue of my being born in America. Under American laws, that makes me an American citizen. Ang reaction doon, ang swerte mo naman. At talagang swerte nga siguro. Kayo, pag pinanganak kayo sa Amerika, American citizen kayo. Pero ako, personal, hindi po ako naiingit doon. Hindi ko masasabing swerte kayo. Maraming problema Amerika ngayon. I wouldn't want to be an American citizen. But Gabby Lopez is a natural-born Filipino. But my point is, why can't we accept the answers of the other side? Lest we be branded as biased, and we are already decided on the issue. So to clarify it, Mr. Chairman, I have my highest regard for you. You are an old friend. I've been a member of this committee for so long, and you already are very familiar on how we have dealt with applications for franchises. Itong application na ito ay isinampa dito sa committee ninyo. Ang hinihingi ko lang, take better control of the proceedings, as this is not a committee of one congressman or two congressmen or 3 or 4. This is a committee of 305 members of Congress duly elected by the people. And the earlier we agree on this, isampa na ninyo sa plenaryo. Pagbotohan na natin, anyway, narinig na natin lahat ng argumento. Hahanapin pa ninyo yung pagkukulang ni Cory, pagkukulang ni... ang makakapagbigay po ng malinaw na sagot dyan, ang Pangulong Cory. Under the Freedom Constitution, she was free to become a lawmaker and the chief executive. Alam ni Congressman Rufus yan. Binanggit nga niya, we were under a revolutionary government at that time. We had a suspended constitution. We had a freedom constitution. So I don't know what they are looking for. Even if they are able to find any fault, sasagutin lang po yan ng mga abogadong batikan. Wala na po yung taong nagkamali. Sino po ang ating parurusahan yung tumanggap ng benepisyo? Palagay ko hindi po. Husgahan natin ang ABS on the basis of their contribution to national development and, of course, the protection of the rights of every citizen and public service all the time. Yun po ang nakikita ng marami sa ABS. Kaya marami po tayong ipaliliwanag pag dito nagkamali tayo ng ating pamamaraan. I urge the chairman of both committees, Chairman Defensor is another member, another chairman of another committee. Be more magnanimous and be more broader in your vision and appreciation of facts. Hindi yung gusto lang ninyo. Ano ang batas at ano ang katotohanan. Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon, Mr. Chairman, and I trust that you will take heed to my admonition and my simple advice. Ituwid natin ang pamamaraan sa committee ito. Salamat po.
Thank you. The Honorable Lito Atienza of the Boy Party List.
Kong Mike.
Yes.
May dadagdag lang ako, no? Congressman Atienza, simulat sa po naman, ang ginagawa nating committee is binabalanse po lahat. Ngayon po, kung labas po, kung dating po sa inyo ay one-sided, at tingin ko po, I beg to disagree kasi tingin ko po, patas naman po, lahat po may chance magsalita. Tulad ng sinabi niyo, matagal na po kayo member ng committee ko. Lahat po, kahit nga po hindi membro ng committee, hinahayaan ko po magsalita dahil gusto ko po lahat magkaroon ng chance na mailabas ang kanilang side. So dito naman sa committee na to, hindi rin po natin naman maisisisi kung Atienza, kung marami po nagbibigay ng oras na iba nating mga kasamahan, kila kong Marcoleta, kila kong PD, o kung sino pa man. At hindi naman po yan na sa kanila lang marami nagbibigay ng oras. Kay Kong Rufus, marami rin po nagbibigay. So patas naman po ang ating pagpapatakbo ng ating hearings dito. Yan po ang amin talagang pinagsisikapan kung Atienza. So doon po sa inyong observation na one-sided, I take exception po kasi pinaghihirapan po talaga namin ni Kong Jonathan na gawing patas po dito. So maraming salamat po Kong Atienza, and doon po sa inyong reklamo po na kayo po ay lagi napapahuli sa listahan. Siguro po mas maganda niyan, kung meron kayong itatanong, mas maaga po kayo magpalista no, sa ganyan, malagay po kayo sa medyo taas. Maraming salamat po. Kong Mike Defensor.
Thank you, Chairman Chicoy Alvarez. Paalala lang po, maraming salamat Congressman Alvarez, maraming salamat Congressman Atienza. Paalala lang po sa ating makasama sa ating pong pagdidebate, no, we recognize the decorum of the committee. Now we conduct ourselves. Kung pwede po, wala ho tayong referral to one another. We address the hearings and we conduct ourselves and we address the chairman, the presiding officer of the committee. Maganda po yung mga inisyo nyo, Congressman Atienza. And I understand you, Congressman Alvarez, talaga po yung pagbabalansa ninyo ni Kong John Alvarado sa isang issue napaka-init, talaga naman po napakahirap. Hindi lang po yung issue, mismo yung mga miyembro ng komite kung paano nyo ho ililinya kung sino yung magsasalita. So with that, I now recognize...
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I raise a point of order, Mr. Chairman? We are now here debating about a franchise or discussing a franchise that has expired. And a CDO was issued by the NTC. We're talking about the law here, Mr. Chairman. The NTC, a cease and desist order was issued by the NTC asking ABS-CBN to cease and desist from broadcasting. Now, we were in receipt of a provisional authority of the NTC given to ABS-CBN on May 14, 2019 on digital migration. And in here, there was a phrase which said, wherefore, premises considered, then I will detract from that. The Commission hereby approves the conversion from analog television service to digital terrestrial television broadcasting station of ABS-CBN Corporation using Channel 42 Metro Manila, predicated upon its congressional franchise under RA 7966. Meaning to say, this provisional authority was granted to TV Plus. TV Plus, a product of ABS-CBN, migrating to digital. The question here, Mr. Chairman, is that earlier I saw a television set where there was a teleradio program airing on TV Plus. Teleradio, or DCMM, was broadcasting on TV Plus. By what authority is the teleradio broadcasting on TV Plus, Mr. Chairman?
Honorable Lemuria, without point of order, without waiting for the explanation of NTC, I'm ordering on TC to make a written explanation for our next hearing. If that explanation can be given to us even before that hearing, it will be better if it can be sent to the committee secretariat at pwede pong ibigay sa atin.
Ang punto, Mr. Chairman,
ang sinasabi ni Congressman Lemuria, ang point of order niya, ginagamit yung free air, ginagamit to sa TV Plus, and therefore, you're calling the attention of NTC. Tama po ba?
yes, Mr. Chairman, because the CDO should also apply to TV Plus and all activities of ABS-CBN on TV Plus, just for the record, because we were in receipt of this provisional authority from them. Therefore, they must be obeying the same authority, the provisional authority that they granted.
Okay, thank you. NTC is ordered to give us a written explanation, and because that will be the subject of discussion in the next hearing. So ordered. Congressman Marcoleta is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Before you continue, I will now relinquish the presiding duties to Honorable Alvarado.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, may I ask a few questions from the representative of DOJ?
Maaari po.
Nandyan pa po kaya siya, Mr. Chair?
Habang
Dito po, Your Honor.
yung
Gabi po.
ng DOJ, ipaalala po natin sa lahat na kung po inyong nasubaybayan ng ating hearing, ay pinipilit po talaga nating maging patas ang ating hearing. Sa sobra po nating patas ay lahat ng sumobrang oras na kinonsumo ng mga nagtatanong ng antay sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN, yung mga kontra po sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN, ay ibinigay naman natin sa mga kampi sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN. Sana po ay huling pagkakataon na pong masasabihan na hindi patas ang pagdinig na ito. Gayon din po ay parati pong kinakausap ng mga chairman ng joint committee ito, ang ating mga panauhin. Kung meron silang mga panaghoy na gustong sabihin sa chairman, ay tutugunan naman natin. Maaari na po kayo magpatuloy sa inyong pagtatanong, Congressman Marcoleta.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Nakikinig pa po ba yung representative po ng DOJ?
Nandito pa po ako, Your Honor.
Salamat po. The first question po ay, is your office, the DOJ, competent to interpret any provision of the Constitution?
Your Honor, whenever we render opinion for different government agencies, our opinion is always the focal point of our opinion will always be the law and the Constitution. So yes, Your Honor, this is one of our powers, Your Honor.
You're saying that your office is competent to interpret the Constitution?
Your Honor, we render opinions, but these opinions are not binding, unlike court decisions. They are merely persuasive.
But you are limited to issuing opinions, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. That is correct.
It is handbook doctrine that whatever opinion that you formulate in the DOJ is only tentative. It's preliminary. It's not conclusive, and it is not even binding to the court.
Your Honor, the more appropriate word for us is persuasive. The opinions of the DOJ are not binding, they are merely persuasive.
Mr. Chair, medyo nahihirapan po kung what did you say?
Sorry, Your Honor, mahina po signal. Our opinions are not binding, but they are persuasive. That is the word that we usually use to describe our
They
opinions.
are persuasive, but they are not conclusive and binding to the court, correct?
They are not, Your Honor. They are not binding on the agencies to whom we render opinions. The agencies are free to disregard our opinion if they want.
And the answers you have just given to the questions of our colleagues earlier were also opinions from
Your
your
Honor,
view. These are basic
that is correct.
and they are not binding to this body. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. They are merely persuasive to this body as well.
Because only the Supreme Court is empowered by our Constitution to finally settle dispute, legal dispute, and even in interpreting any provision of the Constitution.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yun pong mga sagot po ninyo kanina sa mga nagtanong pong mga kasama namin, they are persuasive at most, but basically, we may or we may not rely on those answers. Is that correct?
You may disregard these answers, Your Honor.
Okay. As a matter of fact, even the MTC as an administrative agency or any quasi-judicial body for that matter, if ever they make any opinions, the same treatment is accorded. They might be persuasive, but basically tentative. And again, this will not bind the court, not even this body. That is correct.
That is correct. You are free to disregard our opinion.
As a matter of fact, sir, even the House of Representatives is not even competent to interpret the law because only the Supreme Court can do it. That is correct.
Your Honor, if I may qualify, Your Honor, the House of Representatives and especially the executive, the DOJ, and I would think any other department or agency in the executive should be allowed to perform their function of executing or administering the law, even in the absence of any Supreme Court decision. It doesn't mean that if the Supreme Court has not ruled upon a particular issue, that we can just simply wait and not do anything. In the absence of Supreme Court decision or Supreme Court interpretation,
Yung gumamit yung piece, pwede po ba kayong gumamit ng kasi talagang medyo mahirap po, garbled po ng konti.
Meron po medyo masama po signal dito sa bahay. Your Honor, Tama po kayo na Supreme Court ang final arbiter ng kahit anong mga legal issues natin dito. Ngunit mahirap naman po sabihin namin sa executive na kailangan kami maghintay ng sabi ng Supreme Court bago i-execute ang isang batas, no, or ang constitution, na kailangan namin hintayin ng Supreme Court na bago magbigay ng opinion, lalo na kung hinihingi ito ng isang body tulad ng Congress. So habang wala pong interpretasyon ng ang Supreme Court, ang ginagawa po namin ay to rely on principles of statutory construction as well as jurisprudence to come up with our opinion, Your Honor.
Tama po yun. Wala po tayong pagkakaiba sa pangunawa doon. At kagaya nga po nito, naharap po tayo sa isang issue kung saan yung 50-year limit ay binibigyan po natin ng kaukulang pansin. Mapapansin po ninyo kung babasahin po natin yung provision kanina, ito po yung not more than 50 years, not longer a period of 50 years. Maniniwala po ba kayo kung sasabihin ko sa inyo na wala namang binabanggit doon na talagang renewal? Wala pong salitang renewal, hindi po ba?
Tama po, wala pong salitang renewal sa provision ng Constitution na yun.
Basta hindi po siya open-ended. Basta sinabi, not more than 50 years, period. Wala pong sinasabi na pwedeng i-renew, hindi po ba?
Ang sinasabi po niya, the franchise shall not exceed a term of 50 years.
Opo, basta wala pong mababasa doon na, let's say, subject to renewal. Wala pong ganun. Basta period na po siya, not more than 50 years, period.
Wala po. Walang nakalagay na subject to renewal, Your Honor.
Ngayon po, dahil sa wala namang napagbabasihan na record sa Constitutional Commission na pinag-usapan man lang nila na naulinigan man lang natin na nakalagay, pwede ba nating i-renew ito o kaya ano kaya sa tingin natin? Gusto mo bang ilagay natin yung condition na pwedeng i-renew? Wala po tayong mababasa kasing nakalagay doon ASEC, hindi po ba?
Opo.
Kaya nga,
Your Honor,
kung tutuusin talagang nasa wisdom na lamang po ng Congress, discretion niya po talaga, kung i-renew niya po. At yun naman talaga ay nasa kapangyarihan naman ng Kongreso, nahatulan po, hindi po ba?
tama po yun. Pwedeng i-deny ng Congress ang renewal.
Opo.
Ngunit hindi po pwedeng basehan ng denial na 50 years ang maximum term ng isang holder ng franchise.
Kaya po, dahil sa naharap po kami sa usapin na ito, ang aplikasyon po ng renewal ng ABS-CBN, nakalatag po sa harapan namin ngayon. Kaya dinidinig po natin, para sa ganoon, magkaroon ng kaukulang batayan po kung ito po ay i-renew o hindi. Ang naging posisyon ko nga po, kung ako po yung tatanungin, kasi sa pagsusuri ko, ganito po yung aking nakikita. Kaya dahil sa ang Kongreso na merong prerogative na either i-renew niya o hindi, wala naman pong makapagsasabi na basta't nag-apply ka, automatic pong i-renew sapagkat hindi nga nakasulat. Tama po?
Tama po yun. Consistent po yun dun sa sinasabi natin na ang franchise ay isang privilege. At ang Congress ang kinatawan na magbibigay ng privilege na yun.
Tama po, sapagkat ito ay isang special privilege na binibigay po ng Estado natin.
Tama po.
Okay. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chair. Salamat po ng marami.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Congressman Marcoleta. At para po sa huling magtatanong ngayong gabing ito, kinikilala po si Senior Majority Leader Boying Remulla, isa rin sa mga Vice Chairman ng Joint Committee ito. Nabinigyan po ng oras ni Majority Leader Romualdez at Deputy Majority Leader Sharke Palma.
Mr. Chairman, I think that we have discussed this already fully, this issue. So rather, I would just file my favorite motion. Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. Or move to suspend until Monday, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader. Hindi mo nagamit yung 15 minutes mo, Vice Chairman.
I will use it for the next meeting, for the next hearing, Mr. Chairman, on the next topic.
Sige po. Papaalalahanan lang po ang ABS-CBN na kailangan na po ninyong magsumiti ng mga kaukulang dokumento tungkol sa labor bukas. Hanggang alas 3 po bukas ay hihintayin po ng committee ito. Lahat po ng isusumiti ninyo para sa usapin po natin sa Tuesday. 1 p.m. po ulit, 1:00 ng tanghali, Tuesday, magkita-kita po ulit tayo. At sana po ay mas maayos na po yung hearing natin kaysa po sa hearing na naranasan natin ngayong gabi. Ang chairman po ng isa po sa mga chairman ng committee ito, ang inyo pong kuya, ay nalulungkot sapagkat nagkaroon ng konting kaguluhan, ay patapos na ang araw ng ating hearing. Sana po mas maging parliamentary at mas maging maayos po tayo sa susunod na hearing. Ito po muli ay gagawin sa Tuesday. Sa Lunes naman po ay magkakaroon tayo ng hearing. Hindi naman po kasama ang legislative franchises, ang Blue Ribbon Committee, ay magkakaroon naman na hearing patungkol sa social amelioration nakatuon sa DSWD. Para po sa may mga katanungan tungkol po sa usaping ito, kayo po ay inaanyayahan